Welcome back to Peek into COS. This episode is brought to you from the Studio 809 Community Podcast at The Next Us, a professional cooperative environment for small businesses in downtown Colorado Springs. Today I am joined by Rochelle Janecek, owner of Colorado Salt Wellness Center. Welcome, Ro.
Thank you.
It is great to have you with us. And I know you've lived here in the Springs for like 20 years, but that's not home. You didn't grow up here, right?
I didn't, no.
It became your home.
It sure did.
But take us back to, where you kind of came from and how you got to Colorado Springs.
Sure. Well, I'm from Southern California, a little city called Pasadena. My parents are immigrants, so they moved to Southern California in the 70s from a little country called Sri Lanka. So that is my origin, and I'm first generation American, which is awesome. The first time I came out to Colorado was in the early 90s, and my cousins had moved here, and we came and visited in winter, and it was like this magical place that had snow everywhere, the trees are covered. And it just wasn't like where I grew up. We grew up in concrete in big cities. Yeah. And we had mountains and things like that, but it was such a different experience. And I was still in my teens. But from experiencing that, it was like a sense of calm that we didn't have in Southern California. Mm-hmm. And so I kept coming back every summer and in winters, went camping, explored the outdoors here, and just kind of fell in love with Colorado and ended up moving here permanently in 2005 with my husband just after we got married.
Okay, that's
so,
amazing.
Yep.
For those who listen to this show or, regularly, Ro's story falls right in line with so many people that it starts with a visit. And no matter what age you are, you were old enough as a teen to kind of comprehend. First time you'd seen snow?
No,
you had seen
before,
snow.
But not in such a magical way, I guess. Yeah. It's everywhere. In like where you live, it is just everywhere. You see wildlife. We didn't see that in Southern California.
Right, a different kind of wildlife.
Yeah, very, very different.
Right. So people do come here, whether they happen to get stationed here or they come on vacation, and they look around and start to think about looking at those mountains and then kind of going, gee, I wonder if I could make a living here. Is there something that could draw us here? So you and your husband, newlyweds, chose to move to Colorado Springs. Did you have professions? Did you have a job?
We kind of just quit our jobs in Southern California and like, let's go try Colorado.
Right.
So we were in the hotel industry at the time, got jobs in the hotel industry when we were here.
Okay.
Yeah. And then kind of ventured out a little bit into the cruise ship industry, came back, and then we wanted to settle here and have a family because we thought it's just a little bit slower pace of life.
Sure.
We like the outdoors for our kids and decided to kind of stay here.
Well, you have a passion for health and wellness.
I do.
And tell us about when that started and how what has inspired you to open your business?
Sure. Well, it's definitely been a journey over the past 15 plus years, kind of a compilation of a lot of things. So I became a massage therapist over 15 years ago. I started doing martial arts with my kids when they were younger, which kind of propelled me into just exercise, taking better care of my body, being more mindful in that way.
Right.
Got into bodybuilding for a little bit, which helped me understand the importance of just consistency, again, discipline, being more mindful of even kind of what kind of foods do I eat, how do I take care of myself,
right,
both physically and mentally. And then I really started focusing on my mental health in 2019. I was struggling with a lot of high stress, moving into a role of caretaking for my parents, for my dad especially. He was kind of at the end of stage 4 kidney disease. And so I was trying to find all the things to help me handle like the weight of these responsibilities, taking care of my family, things like that. And I kind of discovered salt therapy and salt caves in 2019 around that time. And I was looking for really just a place to go to help with my stress. And that's really what it helped with for me.
Sure.
It has a whole lot of other benefits, but that's kind of one of the things I found. And then kind of a whole lot more, I guess.
Yeah.
If you're open to me sharing.
Well, let's do
Yeah.
this. Let's, from when you say you discovered Salt Cave.
Yes.
Okay. Tell listeners how you found a salt cave.
Okay.
And what did it do for you? Because this was the first time you'd
Sure.
ever experienced
Yeah,
it.
first
How'd you
time in
find it?
2019.
Yeah.
I think I was looking up places. My sister was very sweet and wanted to give me a little bit of a reprieve from taking care of my parents. And she's like, go have a night out up in Denver. And so I kind of was just looking for like relaxation places
Sure.
in Denver, and that's what pulled up. And so I found a place up there, ended up getting a massage there first, and then going into the salt cave, and it really was the environment for me.
Interesting.
It was just this beautiful, warm, kind of glowing space that felt, it's like when you walk into a place and you can kind of take that deep exhale. It
Right.
gives you that like ability to relax.
So you owe this to your sister.
Yeah, I sure do. Thanks, sis. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
she's-
helping me find this
for
place
helping
up
you
there
find it,
and
right.
giving that gift to me.
All right. So you got this gift and you came back home and.
And I thought I want to build one of these
That's
where I
what you-
live.
really?
Yep,
Okay,
100%.
awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, okay.
And so it took some time to get there, though. It took a couple years to
So-
develop it.
My guess is that listeners may not know about the benefits.
Sure.
Who have not, ever experienced salt therapy. Let's talk to them about what they could experience.
Sure. Well, for the overall benefits, when you're breathing in the salt, so in the salt caves, salt rooms now started like in the 18th century. So it's been around for a very long time, and it was discovered in salt mines and the benefits there. But here now in the Western world, we're able to pump pure sodium chloride in tiny, tiny fine particles into the air. That's what you're inhaling in. It's going deep into the lungs, so it's amazing to help support your respiratory system. So great for people with allergies, which I have here in Colorado. Also, allergies, asthma, COPD. As the salt lands on your skin, it's great for skin conditions. So people struggling with eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, other things like that. And again, for me and for many people coming in, being in the environment really does help you relax, help you kind of with that stress and anxiety reduction.
Okay. All
So
right.
a lot of great benefits.
So when did your business open?
Our business just opened end of May 2000. Where are we at? 2024.
24. So
Yeah.
it's new.
So we're brand new.
So you're,
Yeah.
you're six months old.
Yes.
Okay. You're located in a shopping center for Garden of the Gods Road and Centennial.
Correct.
Okay. And just so we get a chance to do this a couple times, give people your website address.
Sure. It's cosaltcave.com. Really easy to find. You can find us online. We're on Instagram, CO Salt Cave, on Facebook, Colorado Salt Cave Wellness Center. So you can kind of find us everywhere.
Perfect.
On Google.
So we know we've got people listening to this that are residents, okay? So that's a natural, because one of the things we know about tourism is that from a vacation leisure standpoint, the number one reason people come here is to visit friends and family. And so often they're being invited by somebody who's listening to this
Sure.
podcast who lives here in the Pikes Peak region. Then we'll have people who are listening who are maybe already here on vacation, or they're at home planning their trip. All right. So let's talk to the audiences who are probably thinking about, oh, I got to go to Garden of the Gods Park, and
Right.
I want to climb, we want to go up Pikes Peak and take the cog or do the zoo and the incline, all those things. Why should somebody build this in to their experience?
Sure, great
an
question.
itinerary?
And we ask a lot of our visitors these exact questions of how did they find us? Why did they choose to come and visit us? And what I love, especially for visitors, is they're looking for, I think, a wellness experience in general. Like Colorado has so many things to offer here in town with outdoor wellness and these experiences. but for people who need a little bit of a reprieve in between their outdoor adventures.
Right.
So we'll get people who've just come down from the incline or actually getting ready to go climb the incline, and they want to come and do sauna and cold plunge first.
Oh, yeah.
To kind of get their bodies ready, get their muscles ready. We'll have groups and families come in. They're just looking for something to do all together. And what I love about our space is that we can accommodate anywhere from 10 to 15 people really in the salt cave at a time for a group session. So we'll have like families of 5. We had a family from Texas come in, and they're just looking up something fun to do inside for like, an hour.
Yeah.
And so each session is 45 minutes for the most part, unless you're doing a special event. We had this group from firefighters from Canada that came in.
Oh, yeah. For firefighters weekend.
For the weekend. And I'd asked him how he found us, and he's wanted to do something special for his whole team that they can do as a group together. And I love that. It's just creating an experience that you can spend an hour or 2 hours doing things together. It's kind of was team bonding.
Sure.
As well as they got to experience something new, especially for firefighters and supporting their lungs. And I think even for visitors coming off of airplanes and breathing recycled air for a while, like it's a great stop before you go and experience all the rest. It's just kind of really helping support your lungs to start being here. We're in higher altitude.
Oh, I love that. Because, Ro, what you really got me thinking about is that we constantly remind people about hydration.
Yes.
That, here we are at 6,300 feet. And for the most part, people that come here that don't live here, they do have to acclimate. And we talk so much that when you think you can't drink any more water,
keep drinking.
Keep drinking a little bit more. But you're really pointing out the benefits from a breathing standpoint.
100%.
About a salt cave.
Yeah, because we do struggle. People will struggle just to kind of get enough air in their lungs while they're breathing. And what I love about salt therapy is it can just help open up the lungs a little bit more. We have visitors from all over, and they're struggling with allergies when they first come in, and it's just different, environment than their homes and things like that. And so people just want to come in, and whether they do salt cave, we have another therapy booth called Vitality Booth that has salt, that has red light and infrared. And that one's a great one with visitors, whether they kind of feel like they're struggling with a cold or things like that. Just kind of helps clear and open things up in the nasal passages. So it's a good stop.
I'm curious in your business model, you're 6 months into it. Did you envision that you'd have as many visitors coming in as you have had locals, or
I didn't. Yeah, I think I was actually a little surprised, and especially I guess we opened kind of at the start of summer, which so many people come and visit in the summertime. So I was pleasantly surprised of the amount of groups that we had of visitors that have come into the Salt Cave, just wanting to try a different experience. I think a lot of people haven't heard of it. They're going to visit Garden of the Gods. We're 5 minutes just from there. So it's a great stop on their way to these other things. And so I think I've enjoyed having so many visitors from all over want to come and try it. And a lot have been brought in by family and friends in town as well to come and try the Salt Cave, or come and try a sauna cold plunge, or even just come and get a relaxing massage, different therapies like that. So
it seems that here in Colorado Springs that health and wellness has really exploded. And we know our city was founded by General Palmer as a destination for people to come. For those that don't know, the sunshine here was something that before the term medical tourism was really invented, people came here for the sun. And tuberculosis at the time was really something that there was no cure for, and people would come here. Health and wellness now, you can look around our community, and there's lots of different places that people can go. So let's talk about, what do you think is your competitive edge? Why would somebody come and choose yours over another health and wellness center?
Sure. I think what I love about our space and our place is that now we have so many, and it's kind of progressed even over the past 6 months of all the different variety of different things we have to offer. So
Okay.
it's not just Salt Cave, but even within Salt Cave, whether you want to do yoga with family or friends, we offer that in the Salt Cave. Whether
Okay.
you want to have a sound bath experience, which is these singing bowls and vibration therapy to do together. We offer a lot of different things like that I think kind of helps us over other places. And it's just, I love customer service. So I'll be honest, like I love how welcoming our space is. And I wanted it to create that feeling that we want to welcome visitors, our locals, whoever it is, to come in, but making people feel comfortable, excited to be in Colorado, excited to be in our space.
Okay.
That's probably my second passion, or one of my passions as well, is customer service. I love it.
Yeah, because you said you have a background in hotels and cruise ships.
Everything.
And
Anything under the sun, I've done it, and I love it. Like,
Okay.
I love serving people, and I think that's kind of the goal of our space of the wellness center is how can we serve people? How do we get to meet their needs? What are they looking for to kind of help and heal, whether it's mental or physical within the body? Mm-hmm. And we have a variety of therapies that can kind of help meet those needs.
So let's talk a little bit about your staff.
Sure.
And how many people do you have employed, and how did you find these folks?
Well, it's a beautiful evolution of how people can come to you when you put it out there that you are ready for them, I think is what it was. So when I started thinking and really moving forward with opening the business in 2023 is kind of when I said, okay, I'm ready. Let's do it. People just started coming. I think I started meeting people, telling them the idea, and they're like, oh, I have a friend who is into sound baths. Great. Let me meet them. Oh, I know a practitioner who's a fantastic massage therapist. They came our way. I have a couple of actually full-time staff, probably about 3 full-time, 2 to 3 full-time staff. And then I have a whole lot of beautiful wellness practitioners that, again, have come through me through different friends and family and environment, kind of the circle of wellness, I guess, that they kind of came through that. So probably total, we have more than 12 different practitioners that come in throughout the week or throughout the month offering their different services.
Okay.
And they all have their own small businesses as well, which I love, that we can give people a little bit of a taste of what they have to offer. And if they want to go a little deeper in that particular practitioner's service, then they get to go, and we get to help support other small businesses around the city too, which I love.
So you're 6 months into it.
Correct.
Are you open 7 days?
We are open 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, a little bit shorter on Sundays. So we have a little reprieve on Sundays, 10 to 2.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we're open, Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 7 p.m.
Okay.
So we try and give everybody the opportunity to come, whether it's in the mornings or the evenings, that midday.
You know, I noticed on your site you talk about special events, and you mentioned the firefighters as one group that, from Canada that came. Do you have, have you ever had like a bridal party, or do you have people, what sort of ideas would you tell listeners to think about in a bachelorette party or doing something
all
like
of those?
Yeah.
So we kind of custom package for groups that have come in. So we had a small group in from, I think it was just a group of women that wanted to come in and do a couple different things together for 2 hours. So we can shorten different lengths of time, and they got to rotate between the Salt Cave. We have the full spectrum infrared sauna and cold plunge that we kind of coach them through in that part. And then our other one, which is Vitality Booth, which is red light therapy. And they kind of cycle in groups, which is awesome. So whether you're coming in for a bridal shower or bridal party, you come in and get to hang out with a group of 10 of your friends or family and get to celebrate that. We've had kind of work team building groups that come in, and we can custom do, whether it's a meditation session, a guided meditation, breath work session for people. So we can kind of really tailor to different groups and what they're coming in for. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Of all those services that you mentioned, red light therapy is one that I'm not familiar with. And there's probably listeners that may not know that one as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Red light therapy. So it's in our booth that has, it's like 3-in-1 kind of therapies. So it has halo therapy, but red light therapy is great for skin health. So it can help boost collagen, can help reduce fine lines, wrinkles, age spots, all those kind of things. So it's really popular in that aspect, but also with the far infrared light that comes in can help reduce inflammation in the tissues. So it goes a little bit deeper into the body. So people with inflammation in their bodies can really help with that. It can help reduce scars, help with acne, just different conditions that people, the majority of us suffer with at some point in our lives. So red light's really great in that way.
That's and who doesn't have inflammation?
Right?
I mean,
we all seem to have inflammation in our bodies at some point or another.
We all do. Now, do people come in just and book a single session, or do you have packages that you offer for people that may be listening that live here in the Springs?
Sure. Kind of a little bit of everything, especially for like our visitors in our groups.
Yeah.
They can just do a la carte, just come in and get one thing done, or they can get packages online as well and do multiple treatments and save a little bit of cost there. We have memberships, which for locals definitely can come, and they have unlimited salt sessions, unlimited sauna cold plunge vitality booth, things like that. So kind of a lot of options for people when they come in.
That's great. Tell me a story so far in 6 months of business. Tell me your favorite story of someone who has come in and walked out in a just a different person.
Sure.
And what do you feel like you're giving to people? And give us a good example.
Oh, I love that. I guess I have a couple of stories of that, but I think kind of overall, and I love being able to be there to see when people finish with their sessions, because I think that's huge. I had a client come in, and they were doing one of our in-person sessions in the Salt Cave, and it's called EFT, which is emotional freedom technique. It's a form of therapy that you do tapping on the body, and it is these different areas to kind of help relax and relieve stress.
Okay.
And she said she had taken a picture. She had taken a picture of herself before, and then she took a picture of herself after. And just noticing, she said, just the changes of even her face, and then not, let alone how she felt inside. Like, I love those kind of things. And that was pretty neat that she decided to take a picture of herself before and after.
Yeah.
I've had clients kind of come out and they hug me, and this is for locals, and they're like, I'm so thankful that you're here, Ro, that you opened a place like this, because I think looking for more alternative forms of therapy that are natural, that are good for you. And I'm all for Western medicine, and I think it complements Western medicine very well, but it's for people who are really just looking for different ways to help when they're not finding help elsewhere. We've had a lot, this is probably a big one, we've had a lot of cancer patients in. And people, whether they're going through chemotherapy, whether they're going through radiation, and just experiencing a lot of side effects on the physical body. And they come in and they've talked about how much it can help just support that journey that they're going through, whether they're feeling a little bit more relaxed inside, whether their body feels a little bit more less aggravated from some of the therapies that we offer. That makes me very happy that we're here. Yeah.
You and I share a common hotel background, because I worked in the hotel business for a long, long time. And your story about the lady with the picture does bring back a funny memory of, I worked at a resort down in Florida. And one of the things that we used to do was, as like a family in particular would be checking in, and from a day of travel, and the kids,
everything's crazy.
Right. So we would get them to come over to a particular place, and we would take a picture of them. And they'd be at the resort for 3 or 4 days or whatever, and we would invite them to come back at a particular time and take another picture.
Oh, fun.
And after 3 or 4 days of being in the sun and getting a chance to relax, we would give them a picture, but we would also send them that picture like 6 months later.
Oh, I love that.
And we'd say, do you remember? Remember this feeling?
That's so neat.
What it was like when you
Yeah.
got here and what it was like when you were leaving and everything else. So just does bring back a great memory of the before and after
Yeah.
of the power of the experience
Right.
that you're delivering. So, okay,
I love
that's
that.
awesome. Well, before we wrap, I want to give a special shout out to the sponsor of today's episode, which happens to be the Pikes Peak Region Holiday Gift Guide. Prepare for the winter holidays by shopping for locally made gifts and experiences to give your loved ones. This holiday season, you can score great gifts and support local businesses at the same time. Finding the perfect present for your friend and family members can be daunting, so we're making it a bit easier with our Pikes Peak Region Holiday Gift Guide. Some featured items include passes to City Rock Climbing Gym, local honey and jam from the McAllister House Museum, gift boxes from Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, and of course, you can get a certificate for probably 50% off is what
Correct.
seems to be at the Colorado Salt Cave and Wellness Center. So all you have to do to browse the full gift guide is go to visitcos.com/gifts. Okay. So thank you for participating in that.
Thank you.
And so before we go, we have 3 questions that we like to ask all of our guests.
Okay.
And you've lived here long enough that we're not going to stump the band. You will be able, I think, to answer these. So, in 3 words, how would you describe Colorado Springs?
In 3 words, goodness. Adventure, welcoming, sunshine.
Adventurous, welcoming, and sunshine. That works. That's really good. Do you have a hidden gem somewhere in the Pikes Peak region that you like to go, or you and your husband or your family that you like to go to, that's just like your spot, your go-to place? Outside of Salt Cave.
Okay. Outside of our place.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. Is Pueblo considered part of
Pueblo's
our
part of the Pikes Peak region, of course.
Well, you know what? I think in general, like our family loves going camping, but we love going to Pueblo Reservoir.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's a large body of water and it makes me feel a little bit at home from Southern California, being by the ocean.
Yep.
But just being out in the water, paddle boarding, doing things like that,
Sure.
that's kind of one of our favorites.
I get that. That makes sense. Do you have something on your Colorado Springs bucket list that you have not done?
Goodness. Let's see. You know what? I haven't yet gone up Pikes Peak.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, I've done the incline before,
Okay,
so I've
yeah.
kind of made it, towards getting up there.
Yep.
The rest of my entire family has gone up the cog rail before, and that's like one thing I haven't done. So I actually want to go and hike it in the summer, and I like to go and do a 14er and climb up Pikes Peak is probably
Well, you're
on my
not
list.
alone.
Yeah.
I mean, we certainly have had people say that there's Pikes Peak.
Right.
I've
I see it
seen
every day.
And,
Yeah.
and we're so blessed to be able to call that home. But so that it's out there now. You need to.
I've spoken it, so it'll happen.
You've spoken it, and so it'll happen. Okay, so. Let's wrap it with telling listeners, reminding people where they can follow you, get all the information about your
Definitely.
business.
So again, you guys can find us online at cosaltcave.com. You can find us on Instagram, on Facebook. You can find us on the Visit COS website. We're on there as well. And I forgot what else you asked me.
Well, no, that's and I think we're recording this just in November of 2024, so
Yes.
you're making it easy for people for holiday times.
Definitely,
So
yeah.
if there what would you tell people
Well,
on your website to?
Excited just to come in. If you're here visiting, even just with your family, the Salt Cave is such a great experience because you can do it in a large group.
Yeah.
And so it's just a fun stop. You come in, you're in there for an hour, you have a great experience, you get to support your lungs and breathe a little bit deeper. So we just encourage people. It's really fun during the holidays. We have a couple events coming up for holidays.
Okay.
So
And Ro, do you take walk-ins?
100%.
100%. You don't
Yep.
have to necessarily have an appointment.
Yeah, it's great that you do probably for massage and our Ayurvedic body therapies, like any touch therapies. It's good to book in advance. But our salt cave sessions run every hour on the hour, so you just want to make sure you're there about 5-10 minutes before that hour starts, and usually you can hopefully get into a salt cave session if it's not full.
That's great. Well, Ro, thanks for being with us. It's awesome that you're living your dream. People that get to work at their passion don't work at all.
Exactly.
And so we wish you the best and really thank you for being here and being on the show today.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Great.
I appreciate it.